Imagine this. The year is 1942. The world is in the middle of a great war. In the Philippines, a young man from Iloilo named Jose Calugas is serving with the Philippine Scouts. He was just a mess sergeant, a cook, someone whose job was to prepare meals for the soldiers. But in the chaos and fear of battle, heroes are often found in the most unexpected places. Jose Calugas was not just a cook. He was a soldier with a heart full of courage, ready to serve his country in any way he could. His story is one that every Filipino should know and be proud of. His bravery showed the world the true spirit of a Filipino warrior who would not back down even when facing impossible odds. The Battle of Bataan was a very difficult time for the Filipino and American soldiers. They were outnumbered and running out of supplies. The Japanese forces were pushing hard, their attacks relentless. On January 16, 1942, near a place called Calugas, the situation was grim. A Filipino gun position was hit by enemy fire. The cannon was silenced, and the soldiers manning it were either killed or wounded. The enemy was advancing, and it seemed like all hope was lost. The continuous shelling created a scene of pure destruction, with smoke and fire everywhere, making it almost impossible for anyone to even think of moving from their cover. The sound of explosions was deafening, a constant reminder of the danger that surrounded them all. From his position about 1,000 yards away, Sergeant Calugas saw what happened. Without any orders, without a second thought for his own safety, he made a decision that would change the course of that day's battle. He ran. He ran through a field filled with exploding shells and machine gun fire. Can you believe that? 1,000 yards of open ground with death raining down from the sky. He did not hesitate. His only thought was to get to that silenced gun and make it fire again. It was a mad dash, a sprint against death itself, fueled by a powerful sense of duty and love for his comrades who were in desperate need of support. When he finally reached the destroyed gun position, he found the place in chaos. But instead of panicking, he quickly organized a group of volunteers from the soldiers who were still able to fight. Working together under his command, they managed to get the cannon working again. For the rest of the afternoon, Sergeant Calugas and his small team held their ground, firing the cannon at the enemy and disrupting their advance. His quick thinking and leadership gave the other soldiers a fighting chance. His actions were a beacon of hope in a moment of despair, showing everyone that one person's courage could indeed turn the tide and inspire others to continue the fight, no matter how dire the circumstances. The bravery of Sergeant Jose Calugas did not go unnoticed. For his incredible act of valor, he was recommended for the highest military award in the United States, the Medal of Honor. But the war was far from over. Soon after his heroic deed, the Philippines fell to the Japanese. Sergeant Calugas, along with thousands of his fellow soldiers, was captured. He was forced to join the infamous Bataan Death March, a brutal journey where countless Filipino and American prisoners of war died from exhaustion, starvation, and cruelty. It was a test of survival, a hellish experience that would break even the strongest of men. His spirit, however, remained unbroken. As a prisoner of war, Sergeant Calugas faced unimaginable hardships. He was held in a camp where conditions were terrible. Food was scarce, and sickness was everywhere. Despite the suffering, he never lost his will to live or his dedication to his country. While he was a prisoner, news of his Medal of Honor recommendation was a secret he had to keep. If the Japanese guards found out that he was a celebrated hero, he would have been singled out for even harsher treatment, or worse, executed immediately. So, he lived quietly, just another face in the crowd of prisoners, hiding the incredible secret of the honor that was waiting for him. This required a different kind of bravery, the courage of patience and silence. Eventually, Sergeant Calugas was released from the prison camp, but his fight was not over. Instead of going home to live a quiet life, he secretly joined the Filipino resistance movement. He became part of a guerrilla unit, continuing his fight against the Japanese occupation. Imagine the risk he was taking. If he were caught, it would mean certain death. But for him, the freedom of his country was more important than his own life. He used his military knowledge to help the resistance, gathering intelligence and participating in sabotage missions. He was a hero twice over, first on the battlefield and then in the shadows as a freedom fighter. During his time with the resistance, he had to be extra careful. The secret of his Medal of Honor was a heavy burden to carry, but also a source of inner strength. It was a reminder of his duty and the values he fought for. He couldn't tell anyone, not even his fellow guerrillas, about the prestigious award. His identity as a decorated hero had to remain hidden to protect himself and the entire resistance network. He moved like a ghost, his true status known only to a select few high-ranking officers who had recommended him. His story is a powerful example of how some of the greatest acts of heroism are the ones that are never seen or spoken about until long after the danger has passed. The war finally ended in 1945. The Philippines was liberated, and the long wait for Jose Calugas was over. The secret he had kept for so long could finally be revealed. On April 30, 1945, in a simple but meaningful ceremony on the grounds of a military camp, the promise made to him 3 years earlier was fulfilled. General George C. Marshall, a very important American military leader, personally presented him with the Medal of Honor. It was a moment of immense pride, not just for him but for all the Filipino soldiers who fought and sacrificed during the war. After years of fighting, suffering, and hiding, his extraordinary bravery was at last officially recognized for the whole world to see. Receiving the Medal of Honor was a life-changing event for Sergeant Calugas. As the only Filipino soldier to receive this award for his actions during World War II, he became a symbol of the enduring partnership and shared sacrifice between the Philippines and the United States. The medal was more than just a piece of metal, it was a testament to the incredible spirit of the Filipino people. It represented the courage of a nation that refused to be conquered. The ceremony was a powerful acknowledgement of his individual heroism and, by extension, the collective bravery of all his countrymen who stood shoulder to shoulder with their American allies in the darkest days of the war. His journey did not end there. Because he had served with the U.S. Army through the Philippine Scouts, he was offered the chance to become an American citizen. He accepted the offer, and after the war, he moved to the United States with his family. He continued his military career, serving in the U.S. Army, until he retired. He settled in Tacoma, Washington, where he lived a quiet and humble life. He did not often speak of his wartime experiences, but his actions had already spoken volumes. He was a living legend, a humble hero who had seen the worst of humanity, but chose to live a life of peace and dignity. Even after becoming a U.S. citizen and living in America, Jose Calugas never forgot his Filipino roots. He remained deeply connected to his homeland and the Filipino-American community. He was a bridge between two cultures, a man who had served two nations with honor and distinction. His life story is a powerful reminder that heroism knows no nationality. He was a Filipino by birth, an American by choice, and a hero by his actions. His legacy is celebrated in both countries, a permanent symbol of the courage and resilience that defined a generation of warriors who fought for freedom. His quiet life after the war was a stark contrast to his dramatic heroism, showcasing his profound humility. The story of Jose Calugas is more than just a tale of one man's bravery. It is a source of inspiration for all of us. He showed us that heroes can come from anywhere. He was not a high-ranking general. He was a mess sergeant who rose to the occasion when his comrades needed him most. His legacy teaches us that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to act in spite of it. He ran towards danger to save others, a selfless act that defines the very essence of a hero. His life reminds every Filipino to be proud of our history and the incredible strength that lies within our people. We have a heritage of courage passed down from heroes like him. His legacy is also a testament to the importance of remembering our history. For many years, the story of Jose Calugas was not widely known, especially among the younger generations. But it is our duty to keep his memory alive. We must share his story in our schools, in our communities, and in our homes. By remembering heroes like him, we honor the sacrifices of all the Filipinos who fought for our freedom. We ensure that their struggles were not in vain. His Medal of Honor is not just his own. It belongs to every Filipino who has ever stood up for what is right, no matter the cost. His story is a national treasure. Today, Jose Calugas is remembered as a true Filipino-American hero. His name is honored in military memorials, and his story continues to inspire new generations of soldiers and civilians alike. He passed away in 1998, but his spirit lives on. He left behind a legacy of humility, service, and unwavering courage. He proved that one person's actions can indeed make a huge difference. He reminds us that within each of us is the potential to be a hero in our own way, whether on a grand battlefield or in the small, everyday struggles of life. His life encourages us to live with honor and to serve others with a selfless heart. As we look back on the life of Jose Calugas, we are filled with a deep sense of pride. He was a simple man from Iloilo, who became an extraordinary hero. His journey from a mess hall to the battlefield, from a prisoner of war camp to the stage where he received the Medal of Honor, is a powerful narrative of the human spirit's ability to triumph over adversity. Let his story be a guiding light for all Filipinos. Let us all strive to live with the same courage, integrity, and love for our country that defined the life of Sergeant Jose Calugas, the unsung hero of Bataan and a true icon of Filipino greatness.
So hit that subscribe and ring that bell too, for history's wonders waiting for you. Billy at Works, let the knowledge ignite, exploring the past with all of our might.